Good morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America, and hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. And today I have a card planned that is going to be mostly featuring this sweet ice cream set. Actually, it's the ice cream corner suite, of which this is the stamp set. And I'm going to be using some of the designer series paper, but I'm also going to be using a sentiment from Heart to Heart. So I'm going to make an ice cream Valentine for Glenn, since he is at his university office and won't be seeing this. He's seen all the other Valentines I've made so far this year. So let's get started. If you're here, say hello. I'd love to acknowledge you and see who's here. So I'm using some of the ice cream corner designer series paper. I've chosen this piece. It's got this piece to cut popsicles, icy poles, scoops of ice cream from, but then I like this pattern paper, and I've cut a piece of terracotta tile as a base to layer it on. And then I knew I wanted to do another panel, so I pulled out these card templates, and if you do not have these, I will try to remember to put a link on the video and also in my blog post that'll come out later today, tomorrow, about this card, about where you can get these. They are available in inches and in centimeters. I have a set of each because they're great for translating, when I see a card that's done in inches, to find equivalent measurements in centimeters. Because we're, of course, a different proportion in our rectangle than from between letter and A4 paper. But also, when I'm planning cards, I find it a great way to visually see what size I want my layers to be. Hello, Joyce. Thanks for joining me today. So I went back and forth between which size to do, and because of what I want to put on the card, I decided to go with the larger set of panels. So I have pre-cut those, and even though Very Vanilla is not listed as one of the colors in this set of papers, in fact this squiggly line reads to me much more Very Vanilla than white, so that's what I chose to use here in the middle. So I'm going to set all of this aside for now while we work on some of the stuff that's going to go onto that. One of the first, I'm going to make a bowl of ice cream instead of ice cream cones or popsicles or icy poles. So I'm going to use silver. I used to go to a couple different old-fashioned ice cream parlors, and they had those, like banana splits and dishes of ice cream. Some would come in glass, but some would come in those, metal bowls, silver-colored metal bowls. So that's what I'm going to kind of replicate today. And one of the tricks I wanted to share with you, when I cut the metallic foils, they pick up anything that's on the on the acrylic plates, any kind of etching from previous cuts or little bits of debris that are on there, and they'll press into the foil. So what I like to do, this is a tip for you from me, is I put my die on, and then I put wax paper. That's hard to find here in Australia. Baking paper. This is the backing from a full sheet of labels. You could use the backing from adhesive sheets. anything that just is very thin and provides just a little bit of protection from whatever might be on this top plate. So I'm gonna line all of that up, and I brought in my Baby Boss today because it's easier to use on my desk on camera than hauling in the big one. Really, it is easier. And hi Paula, nice to see you. And we will run this, we will run this through. There we go. Maybe. There we go. And that means that, well, except where the panel, the end of my plate was, but I don't have all kinds of pattern stuff that I would have without that paper covering. So set that aside. I can use that little bit for something else. And then move these aside. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, because I'm only going to use probably about 2/3 of this for my bowl. I think I'm going to try to cut off a little sliver here. Let's get it lined up straight as we can. There, so it actually can sit. Look like it's sitting flat and not rocking all over the place. So, bring this back in for a minute. So that's gonna sit like that to be my bowl for my ice cream. So then I was gonna make some scoops of ice cream, and this has the ice cream cone builder punch. And I'm not using the cone, but I am using the scoop of ice cream. And this one is going to be, I decided, hokey pokey is what they call it from New Zealand. Here in Australia, we would call it honeycomb, and I've never seen it in the US, but that's okay. And let's see what we do here. I know Glenn likes the hokey pokey, and he likes mint chocolate chips, so we're going to do that. Just snip off so it's ready for another time. And even though that's vanilla there, we're going to do a scoop of vanilla. Let me see how many we've got going here.
Mom, can I open another bag of pretzels? I feel sick to my stomach.
And yes.
Okay, you'd yell at me if I didn't ask.
I think we need one more scoop of something. And I know that looks like it's too matchy-matchy there, but we're going to be okay, and I'll show you why in a minute. So, a scoop of what? Let's see. Hi, Cheryl. Thanks for joining in. I'm making an ice cream Valentine for my husband. Let's go ahead and do a scoop out of the terracotta tile as well. Just do that right there. And I'm going to add some little things to some of these. So this one's going to be mint chocolate chips. So we're going to add some chocolate chips. This is my early espresso. And the honeycomb. So honeycomb is a bit of it's hard and crunchy. trying to figure out how to describe it. It is, it's kind of like, you know, when cotton candy gets some of those hard compressed bits, it's kind of like that. So probably a sugar syrup with a lot of air in it and then dried. I don't really know how to describe it. And then this one I'm going to keep just like that, I think. And let's see. That's going to kind of pop up on there. That's why I wasn't worried about doing anything on that. I think maybe some texture on this piece. So let me grab an embossing folder. So this is one of the wrapped in texture embossing folders, and I know that it is actually retired from the what was it, the August to December mini catalog, but I really like it. Okay, still learning the mini. So one of these, and this one, it says, there we go. Yep, texture is a good thing. Okay. See, sometimes you come with a plan and you still change it up. Okay, so there's that. Let's bring the whole thing back in. That's going to go on there. That one's going to go there. And that's going to pop up there, but I'm not finished yet. Because we're going to do something, we're going to try something. I haven't done this, but I've seen it done. I've seen it on TV, but I saw it during one of the team meetings with my upline, Kylie. So we're going to use some of this fine tip glue that dries really, really glossy. You can also do it, this is another current product, this Shimmery Crystal Effects. But I don't really want it to be, if you want it to be shimmery, that's fine. Today I don't want it to be shimmery. If you still have any of the original Crystal Effects, that would work as well. But and you can see on these, I don't use them very often and they tend to clog up their nozzles. So I store them with some plastic wrap over, and as soon as we're done, I will be cleaning out this nozzle. And in fact, I'm not even going to use the nozzle. I'm just going to pour a little bit onto my silicone mat. And I'm just going to close that up. I will clean that up and then put the plastic wrap back on it to store it. But this dries clear, but what I'm going to do before I put it on anything, I'm going to add a drop or two of, this is the Early Espresso Reinker, and because the glue is water-based, this should color the glue. I'm bringing in this is just a dumb old Kmart watercolor brush or paintbrush. Go away, air bubbles. And so now I should be able to add this and have it look like hot fudge or chocolate sauce or however you want to call it. See if I can get rid of the air bubbles. It does run by itself. And I'm using this silicone mat because it will wash right off, and or once it's dried you can actually just peel it off, which can be kind of fun too. It doesn't take very much, obviously. And when it dries, it will be just this glossy. Put that down there for a minute. I think I'm going to punch and make a few more of these while I have this here, and because it takes a little bit to dry. Hi, Nikki. Thanks for joining. So, once again, this is fine tip glue that I've poured out onto my silicone mat and added a drop of Early Espresso Reinker, and obviously you could add a red if you wanted to make strawberry sauce. You could add a yellow if you wanted to make pineapple sauce, and you can make a banana split. Yeah. This one's coming out more, a little bit more like, what, magic shell? I think I got another name for it here in Australia. So I would say, yeah, definitely having it glop on like that is more chocolate sauce like, letting it drip. So maybe we'll do a little more. See if we can get another. Whoa, that's a lot more. Two drops of Reinker. Yeah, this is definitely something that you're going to need to let dry. So we'll see how we do with getting the card assembled on camera here. But this is pretty fun to play with. And I think the more organically you let it dry, drip, the better it looks. Okay. We'll just keep playing here for a minute. I figure out best technique here for this. There we go. Yeah. I'm gonna see what happens if I take, I have more than one silicone mat. I'm gonna take this over and run it with my heat gun for a minute and see what happens. I'll be right back. Okay. It's dried a little bit. I think it's best to just let them air dry. So I'm going to set all of that aside here. Be right back. And I'm going to work on the sentiment while we give that another minute or two to dry a bit. So I pulled in, like I said at the beginning, this heart-to-heart set. I'm going to use that Happy Valentine's Day. You could absolutely make this card and use the happy birthday or the thank you that comes in the ice cream set, but because I want this to be Valentine's Day, I'm going to use this one. And let's see if I can get that stamped straight. This strip is 2.5 centimeters wide. And I'm going to use the same color. I'm taking Hope It's Sweet out of the sweet ice cream set, and I'm adding it underneath there. There we go. And I could have done that in a different color, but I'm just gonna keep it, let the ice cream pop as different colors and keep that, the rest of it kind of duotone, if you will. And then I'm going to bring in Banner's Pick-a-Punch. So 2.5 centimeters seems to be pretty much the same as 1 inch on this punch, which is cool. And then my favorite way to figure out where I need to trim it off is figure out where I want that to be with that cutoff bit. See how that's working? And then I take a pencil and I just mark where that is. And I give it a quick cut. I could do it with scissors. This is right at hand and it gives me a straight cut there. And now I can stick this side in. That's going to go on there. We're going to start layering some things up. So, oh, I need a new glue. There's the first layer. Again, this designer series paper is from Ice Cream Corner. Sweet. And I have some very vanilla to go on the inside of the card. These two pieces to layer. Okay. Like I said, this piece is going to go the back there. And I know there's all kinds of fancy adhesive that Stampin' Up! Has, but for some things, just sticky tape. Sticky tape is good stuff. even when you cut it too long. It's good stuff. Okay. And put this guy on. And in come the dimensionals. We're going to use lots of these today, because it adds a lot of interest without a lot of the foo-rah that I don't think a lot of guys like. You know, so no ribbon, no sparkle, except a little bit of shine from my silver ice cream bowl. And I think those will go on with dimensionals. And this is going to go on with dimensionals. Oh, here we go. Okay, and I haven't forgotten about this one. It's going to go on there too. It's not 100% dry. There we go. If at some point I think it needs it, I can put, well, it's pretty dry. Maybe I'll just show you how I do that. Since these are popped up on dimensionals and that's popped up on a dimensional, this really needs 2 dimensionals, not 3, 2 dimensionals to make it be in the right place. So put one. Again, silicone mats are useful. These things don't stick so much, but these stick to each other. So I'm double layering the dimensional. And then I will come in underneath here and stick that down. There we go. And then the final bit, I have this dog builder punch that has this little heart and like a cherry on top. Get my glue dots. Hi Judy, thanks for joining me today. Stick that right on there. So that is my Valentine's Day card from my husband Glenn. And it's got that hot fudge sauce. If I'd wanted to, I could put hot fudge on the rest of these too, but I didn't. So I hope you like that. That was pretty fun. It came together the way I thought it would, which is always exciting. So I hope you like that. I hope that gives you some ideas. I hope you try out this this technique with coloring the fine tip glue or the shimmery crystal effects. That would make it shimmery and glossy. I recommend doing it in advance and letting it air dry, because that will give you a better finished surface than where I hit it with the heat tool. But again, I put a little blob of the glue on my silicone mat. You could also use one of the clear blocks and put it on there. It'll wash off of there. And then a drop or two of re-inker. In this case, I used Early Espresso. And yeah, pull it at the top and kind of hold it at an angle and let it organically drip, I think is the best method. So yeah, hope you like that. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back again, same time, same place next week with another project to show you. And if you came partway through, take a look at the replay that will be up a little bit later today, and there'll be a blog post with some details as well. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.